Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. Oh boy, this case is getting very complicated. It's getting complicated. There's a lot of twists and turns to it. And it's also getting a bit depressing. Why? Because there's so much divide with this case. People are afraid to just speak the truth now for fear of hurting people's feelings, sectarianism, the whole nine. Listen, I think it's very sad that both the left and the right are weaponizing this tragedy for their own political gain. But here on True Crime with Strategic, we are a true crime channel. We cover the facts. I give you my opinion based on my investigative experience, but I cover the facts. And I will never shy away from covering a story simply because it's politically charged. Now, typically, we fight for the voiceless. We cover stories involving SA because that is my expertise. That's what I do for a living. I investigate those type of crimes. But when you have a case like this where we all witness a man be assassinated right before our very eyes, you better believe True Crime with Strategic is going to cover this. So I want to tell you this. Just because allegedly there is a transgendered person involved somehow, whether as a witness, accomplice, whatever, we don't know, with this assassination, does not mean that their actions, good or bad, reflects on the entire trans community or LGBTQIA by extension community, period. We need to stop typecasting people. And I just got to throw this out there. I'm not being political with you people, but I'm just trying to talk common sense, okay? Just because a few people who may be Democratic or left-leaning, whatever, celebrate Charlie Kirk's death does not mean all Democrats feel that way. Just like all Republicans don't think that Democrats are all trying to hurt people or vice versa. Nothing is absolute. We're all human beings, and we need to all never forget that we're Americans at the end of the day. This was a tragedy, and if there's a lesson we should learn from it, is how can we love each other more? Not how can we take such a horrible tragedy that has robbed a wife of her husband, and most importantly, two children from their father. How can we take that and yet find further divide? I don't know. I can't fathom it, but it seems to be happening. But I have faith that eventually when this pain kind of subsides a little bit, we'll all get our mind right and we'll start thinking with common sense. But that being said, it's not going to sway us from covering the facts of this case. Now, a few things are developing in this case that made me want to do a late night live and reach out to you guys and share this information. A reputable news source has made contact with family members of Twigs, and they're giving their insight into Twigs, okay? Lance Twiggs, or Luna Twigs, which is the name that she prefers to be called after transitioning. Once again, here on True Crime Strategic, I don't know what any of your beliefs are. That's your business. We don't judge people here. We do call people by the pronouns they want to be called and by the names they prefer to be called. But at the same time, I am a human being and I don't live in that lifestyle. So if I make a mistake, it's just a mistake. But my heart is always in the right place. But please don't get offended if we're calling people by their pronouns, which I believe is the right thing to do, and by the names that they want to be called. I believe that that's the right thing to do, okay? Now, that being said, everything that we're going to read is, first of all, it is a reported news story, so we're not spreading rumors or whatever. We're reporting the news, but the news story that's being reported is still the opinion of these family members who are making the comments. Lastly, before we move forward, because we're going to do a deep dive into Twigs. I'm sorry, Twigs is a part of this. Twigs received the text messages. We're unsure as to when those text messages were received. Were they received before? I think I heard they were received afterwards, but if they were received afterwards, what was the action that was taken after they was received afterwards? Did Twigs immediately call law enforcement and notify them that, hey, I just got text messages from my lover basically saying that they did something horrible? Or did Twigs keep that information and share it with somebody else? Because from my understanding from the reporting we did earlier, Twigs contacted a friend and told that friend about what happened. And guess what? Neither Twigs nor that friend went to law enforcement. Law enforcement came to Twigs. That's my understanding. Now you have some people like, oh, this person's a hero. We don't know if they're a hero because they might be a hero. We want to give them their flowers. We absolutely want to give them their flowers. But the evidence so far shows that they cooperated after the FBI came knocking on their door. Most people are going to cooperate when the FBI come knocking on your door because you know what the FBI can do to you. The feds have a 90% conviction rate. They can send you to jail for all eternity. So when they came knocking on the door, allegedly that's when Twigs started cooperating. That is not exactly, to me, the actions of a hero. But I could be wrong. And if I am, we will make corrections. But until then, Twigs is an integral part of this case. And I got to adjust this mic. And we need to do a deep dive into this, okay? So I'm adjusting when I start playing a video or something like that. Before we get started, I want to thank everybody who's joining us today. Welcome to the chat. We appreciate you. We have over 300 people watching us right now with 104 likes. I'm going to ask for two things. Number one, please hit that like button so we can get into the algorithm and we can be shown to a wider audience. And number two, we're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. And right now we have less than 2,000 subscribers to reach our goal, which means that if you are not subscribed to this channel and you're watching us right now, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscription button and join our family. All right, so now, first of all, we'll start off with, what are you going to start with? We're not even going to start with Twigs TikTok. We'll start with the article. Wisconsin right now. All right. Wisconsin right now reported Lance Twigs was named as the roommate of accused Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson by the New York Post and Daily Mail. After those reports, Wisconsin right now reached two family members of Twigs by phone on September 13th. The first family member declined to comment and hung up. It's probably something I would have did if somebody called me. Let's keep going. The second family member confirmed the information in the Post and Daily Mail stories, but also provided additional details to Wisconsin right now that no one has reported yet. Now, listen, these are just my theories, ladies and gentlemen. It's just my theory. I'm adjusting the mic. I'm like OCD with this stuff. Like, it needs to be fixed. I can't move forward until this mic stays where I want it to stay. But I can multitask. We can't forget who the shooter was or is. He's still with us, unfortunately. The shooter was a recluse. The shooter was a very smart person with bad social skills. I called him neurodivergent. That does not mean that all neurodivergent people have an affinity to violence. Not at all. But we're talking about him specifically. So if you're neurodivergent, please don't get offended. We're talking about the shooter, not about you. I also said that the shooter came off to me like he may be on the spectrum a little bit and not diagnosed. And folks like him with all of those things that I've listed are easily manipulated. That's just my opinion. I'm not a psychologist. I'm a detective. I'm just giving you my opinion, okay? No facts to back it up. Now, let's go to the next paragraph. Now that we understand that about Robinson, right? Before we go to the next paragraph, who is Twigs? This is Twigs. We're going to have to pause that because we can't have music on the background without YouTube getting at us. This is Twigs. Making TikToks, funny dances. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. Maybe in his world, those are some really cool moves. I don't know. Who am I? I'm a nobody. This is Twigs.
One of those cookie boxes, but here's the magic part. Watch this. There are actually cookies inside of here, and I've never seen that in my life.
Now, Twigs is into the furry stuff, so you'll see him a lot with animal hats on and stuff like that, and shirts or whatever you want to call it that look like fur. That's his thing. That's what he's into. Let's keep going. All right, we're going to have to get that music off again. I apologize. Sounds funny. You can't see anything, but we can't play the music because of YouTube. It seems to me, what's my point in showing you this, guys? He seems to be a very outgoing person. Robinson, introvert, quiet, not exuding leadership qualities. You probably would not call him a leader. Co-workers said that he's the type that doesn't speak unless he's spoken to. This person, gotta pause it again. This person's the outro, the social butterfly, etc., etc. All right, now let's go back to the article. We got a point we're trying to make here. For starters, the family member who has not spoken to other members of the news outlet, so they're breaking news right now, they're the only one with this information, alleged that Twigs harbored animosity toward conservatives and Christians, confirmed that Twigs was transgendered / transitioning, and said that Robinson was allegedly Twigs' boyfriend. So this family member, according to their response to this reporter, said that A, Twigs is transgendered, and B, Twigs did not like conservatives and Christians. Let's keep going. To be clear, authorities have not accused Lance Twigs of criminal wrongdoing or culpability in connection with Kirk's death. That's why in our title we said, did Robinson's lover Twigs radicalize him? Did. We're asking a question, okay? According to authorities, they have no evidence yet that that is the case, but we're here to have our theories and ask questions, okay? A roommate, to be clear, blah, blah, blah. Okay, a roommate was mentioned in the Utah governor's press conference. Although he was not named, the governor said the roommate gave authorities messages from Robinson that referred to a rifle and bullet engravings. They did live together, the family member of Lance Twigs told Wisconsin Right Now in the exclusive phone interview on September 13th, referring to Twigs and Robinson. Lance Twigs, is very angry with anyone who is supportive of conservative ideals and Christian values. Why? We're going to read an Andy Ngo. Now, Andy Ngo is a very polarizing individual. I do not subscribe to him. I do not read or watch his stuff unless it happens to fall in my feed. But I think it's probative enough for us to read his article. Even though I have not verified it, this is his reporting. So I'm telling you guys, I'm acknowledging that he's a very polarized individual, but I skimmed through his article and there's a lot of probative things, interesting things in there, guys. So we're going to go over that and it's going to be very interesting. Well, let's stay on here. Lance Twigs, is very angry with anyone who is supportive of conservative ideals and Christian values, alleged the family member. As far as I know, he was not going by another name. I just know he was in the process of transitioning. I know he was trying to take different medications, alleged a relative of Lance, whom the family member had avoided for about 4 years out of concern over Twigs' alleged temperament. The relative told WRN about having heard secondhand from other family members that Lance had allegedly wished horrible things on people. I've really distanced. There was allegedly evil inside and only getting worse. This is what Twigs' relative is saying about Twigs. There's evil inside him and it was only getting worse, and they stayed away from him because of his temperament. Let's keep going. Now, mind you, this is all what this person is saying to this reporter. I have not verified this. I am simply reporting the news as it was reported in this news article. We don't know if Lance has a bad temperament. We don't know it. In fact, when we read the Andy Ngo article, you could take it one way, that Andy Ngo is saying all these issues that he had, that Lance had with his family. You could also take it that the family did not accept Lance because Lance is transgendered and gave Lance a really hard time. And we know that that happens. We know that people who are part of the LGBTQIA community, people who are transgendered, oftentimes get ostracized by their family members. There might be bad blood on both sides. We'll also discover that Lance came from a Mormon family. They are very, very, very strict when it comes to homosexuality. If you could say that word, can you? Or the LGBTQIA community. I want to respect everybody. But I know that they're not friendly to people who are part of the LGBTQIA community. And they're certainly not friendly to trans people. So there could be so much different dynamics going here. This is in the news, and I'm reporting it to you. I'm leaving it up to mature adults to figure out how they want to interpret this, okay? Let's keep going, because, listen, I'm not an activist. I'm not here protecting any group. I'm going to report the news. Let's keep going. All right. Robinson was living with a transgender partner who was in the process of transitioning from male to female. The Post confirmed. Now, all law enforcement is confirming this. They're all confirming this, period. All right. So that's not in dispute that Robinson was not just living with Twigs, but him and Twigs were lovers. And if the law enforcement is confirming that, it's because Twigs told them that that was the dynamics of their relationship. So let's keep going. The Post confirmed. The Post and Daily Mail reported that they were not able to confirm or deny whether Twigs was transgender or whether Twigs was the same transgender roommate referred to by the Post. And it could possibly be somebody different. Maybe they lived with each other for some time and then they didn't live with each other and then he moved in with another transgendered roommate. I don't know. You could live with a transgendered roommate and not be their lover. It's possible, right? So the two don't necessarily correlate into romance. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you just need a roommate because you need somebody to help you pay the rent. Let's keep going. The shaken relative who almost broke down into tears at one point during the interview asked not to be named. WRN tracked down the family member through data mining sites that showed the familiar linkage to Twigs. The relative alleged that Lance Twigs is not mentally well at all. Hearsay, by the way. Third party, we don't know if this is true. Asked whether Lance was transgender transitioning, the family member alleged, "This is true. I can't be sure of when it started. I have suspicions it would have been about 4 years." Let's keep going. The family member alleged to WRN that Robinson was Lance Twiggs' boyfriend. "I knew he had a boyfriend. I never met him. None of us had." The relatives was not sure how long they were together. Asked how the relative knew Robinson was allegedly Lance Twiggs' boyfriend, the relative responded, "Lance disclosed that. Not to me directly," so now we're talking about hearsay, but still, let's keep going. "He wanted to have lunch with other family members to introduce his boyfriend." Interesting. The relative said the relative had avoided having anything to do with Lance Twiggs for about 4 years. "I know the reason I had nothing to do with him is he, Lance Twiggs, is full of evil and hatred." And when somebody says that, it's either they're really, really evil or there's some bad blood there and there's two sides to the story. So I acknowledge there's probably definitely two sides to the story with this relationship between these two people. The family member alleged about Lance Twiggs, "While this is extremely shocking, I was afraid he might hurt someone," the family member alleged, saying this belief was based on things he would say to family members. The relative declined to be more specific. Very interesting. "For at least 4 years, I haven't talked to him," the relative alleged of Lance. "I did not want him around my personal family. He's not a healthy person. He's very angry with anyone who is supportive of conservative ideals and Christian values." The relative expressed great devastation over Kirk's murder. "We feel collectively as a family, we feel sick. We were all very devastated that this happened to Charlie Kirk," and said the relative, voice breaking emotionally. "It should never have happened. We liked him with the things he believed in. This shouldn't happen in our country at all. The family member said the devastation came from having it come in any way close this way. It was completely unexpected. The relative learned that Robinson was accused of shooting Kirk on Friday morning. Tyler, I don't know him at all, added the relative. According to the relative, the Twiggs family is generally conservative and Christian, so Lance's beliefs deviated from his family's political stances. I hate what happened, said the relative of Kirk's death. All right. What the Post, Daily Mail, and Fox News have reported about Lance Twiggs. Let's keep going. I think it's interesting. Although a relative confirmed that the Post that Twiggs was Robinson's roommate and the news site verified that Twiggs resided at the same address where Robinson lived, the Post stopped short of reporting that Twiggs is a transgender roommate, referred to it in other reports. The Post spoke to decline to say whether Twiggs was transitioning and was apparently not the same family member interviewed by WRN, as our source had not been interviewed yet by anyone. Public records confirmed that Twiggs, 22, lived in an apartment in St. George, Wisconsin. Right now, reached a second relative of Twiggs by phone who said, I have no comment, sorry, and hung up the phone. All right, I see the comment section buzzing right now. I want to go and show love to the super chats. Woo, it's a lot of reading, but it's a lot of information. A lot of reading, but a lot of information. All right, so let's keep going. Let me check this out real quick. And once again, guys, this is all alleged. All right, it's all alleged, but it is the news that's being reported based off of an interview that the news did with a family member that they were able to verify is a family member of Twiggs. But you got to understand, we don't know what their family dynamics is. We don't know if there's bad blood between these two family members, and maybe they're kind of like juicing it a little bit because they don't like Twiggs, or if everything that they're saying is true. That's why we're asking the question, did he radicalize Robinson? Because Robinson has the archetype of a personality that could easily be swayed and radicalized, but it seems like Twiggs is the more outgoing person who might have been the leader of that relationship. I'm not sure. We're trying to figure this out. Let's keep going. Let me get to these fan funding. Big shout out to Anna Gates, who's a recruit member. Welcome to True Crime Strategic Family. Job for $9 $5 super chat says 2 lives in 1 day, 2 lives, but she said love, so I didn't misread her. But they meant to say 2 lives in 1 day. Wow, and thank you. No problem. We're here when we have something probative to cover. And Elizabeth Mayer is now a recruit member. All right, let's get back to the chat and let's keep going. Dr. Cataclysm said, check out. We already have that queued up, Dr. Cataclysm. We will be reading that article and checking out Andy Ngo's investigation. Definitely. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. All right, let's keep going. Tyler Robinson's roommate, who tipped off FBI, has identified his family, refused to deny transgender motive for Charlie Kirk. This is the Daily Mail, it's their Twitter. The angle that Robinson lived with and had a transgender partner was first reported by Fox News reporter Brooke Zigman early in the morning, exclusive. And it's okay, so they're just kind of like walking us through it. We could just skip that and move on to the next interview. All right, so this is the next article we want to read. This is the Andy Ngo investigation here. Now, once again, I am throwing this out there for you guys because I want to be as transparent as possible. We want to be fair to all sides. Andy Ngo is a very polarizing individual. He does a lot of investigative journalism. Some of it is good. Some of it is tabloidish, okay? I have not verified any of this stuff. This is Andy Ngo's reporting. But like I told you, when you guys are here, you're basically detectives. And detectives take in all information. If you want to go on a channel that does not cover all information to try and uncover the truth, this is not the channel for you. We are here to uncover the truth, which means that we are going to look at all sources, but we're also going to be mature enough to say, you got to weigh how much of a source you want to believe. I'm not here to baby you and hold your hand. I'm here to walk you through this stuff as we discover the truth together. All right, Let's keep going. Aki said, okay, strategic, we got it. All right, listen, you say we got it, but then the wingnuts come inside of the chat and all that stuff, and they start crying and, oh, you talked about this. And it's like, get out of here. If you watch this show for more than 5 minutes, you can see my personality is not the type that really cares about your tears. I care about facts, and I care about giving a voice to the voiceless. So I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but I get tired of the crybabies in the chat, all right? Let's keep going. All right, so unmasking Luna, Charlie Kirk, assassin suspect, alleged lover is confirmed to be trans. Let's keep going. I guess I misquoted Aki. Rant rescinded. Let's keep going. I can report that the roommate and suspected romantic partner of the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk is confirmed as trans. It is what it is. Let's keep going. On Friday, Daily Mail first identified the partner as 22-year-old Lance as Twigs. Twigs lived with accused assassin Tyler Robinson in an apartment in St. George, Utah, about 4 hours from Utah Valley University, where Kirk was murdered. That's quite a bit of distance. Twigs' social media history remains online and have reviewed it to confirm his transgender identity. Now, why does that matter to me whether he's trans or not, or she is trans or not? The only reason why it matters to me is because if you looked at my previous live, I said there's a possibility that the reason why Robinson committed this act, this tragedy, this act of violence and terrorism is because he was trying to defend his lover's honor. Because one thing that Charlie Kirk spoke about a lot and debated a lot on was transgendered issues. Trans playing in sports, transgendered using bathrooms that but for females and etc. He always debated those things. And so if your girlfriend is trans and these things offend her, especially if she's outspoken, which she has every right to be, about the politics about it, because this is America and you can have an opinion, right? There's nothing wrong with Twigs having a political opinion. Then maybe even without Twigs's knowledge or consent, he might feel like he had a duty to fight, not just to hurt Charlie, not just for Twigs's rights, but also for all trans people's rights. So to me, there is, or honor, like somebody said inside of the chat. So there is a nexus between Twigs being transgendered and it possibly, not definitely, but possibly affecting the actions of Robinson. So let's keep going. On the video game platform Steam, where Twigs is very active, he used the screen name Fluxalot. Okay, Fluxalot. According to a U.S. government source I spoke with on condition of anonymity, the account's prior usernames match those on one of Twigs' TikTok profiles. Now, one thing I'm noticing that's kind of crazy is too many leaks in the federal government. Like they don't understand the term confidential investigation. They're just leaking everything. Like you should not be getting any source that's willing to speak to you about Twigs. It's crazy. They're leaking everything. I think it's very unprofessional. I mean, don't get me wrong, as a YouTuber, the YouTuber side of me is like, yes, give me the information, because this is what we do while we're here. And we put on this blazer, the sport coat rather. But as a law enforcement officer, I'm like, this is highly unprofessional. And this has been happening for years. This is not president specific. This has just been happening for decades. And, you know, the FBI carry themselves like they are the bastion of law enforcement. They are the creme de la creme, but they can't seem to keep their mouths shut. Like, that's crazy. But anyway, let's keep going. I can say, check the email. Got you. All right. So this is the Steam profile and all that good stuff. Take a look at it. Which one is that? Okay, let me check the other one. I'm sorry. I don't know. Give me some details inside of the chat, the private chat, please. The raid between the future killer and Kirk. Oh, okay. hold on here. We're going to pause the show real quick. Allegedly. So what the research crew is telling me is that this is the debate between Charlie Kirk and Tyler Robinson. I don't know if, I think, is this the bullhorn guy thing? I don't know if this is Tyler Robinson. Let's see.
All right. My name is Blake.
Watch out, everybody. The mask.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is this Tyler? I'm not sure. I've seen this before, but I'm not sure if this is Tyler. Hold on.
The debater is here. Get him out. This is freedom of speech. If you don't like it,
Why don't
This is not. I looked at this before. This is not Tyler Robinson. It's not. It's somebody else. People have said this is called Microphone Guy. That don't even look like Tyler Robinson. That's not him. I don't think that's him at all. Let's get up the mugshot of Tyler. Yeah, it's not him. I don't think it's him. It might be. I'm not sure. They do got the same hair. Got the little part over here. That might hit. I'm not sure.
Organization be able to stay in the United States.
I'm just not sure, man. I cannot definitively say that this is this guy. Big shout out to Galen with a $50 super chat. Says, thank you for keeping us updated and all your hard work. I appreciate you, man. That's so awesome of you. And then we got somebody gave us a 10 gift membership. I want to check that out too. 10 gift membership from Galen. Galen gave a 10 gift membership and a $50 super chat. Thank you so much, man. That's so awesome, man. I wish I could give you a high five. I'll give you a virtual high five. Bam, right there. Let's give him a yay. Yay. All right, so we're going to take that. We're going to put that aside. At the end of the show, we'll take another gander at it. I'm not convinced that that is actually Tyler Robinson, but I don't know. We'll take a look at it. We'll dissect it as a family. Somebody says this has already been debunked. A student from OSU, not Utah. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking too. I looked at it myself. I didn't read whoever debunked it, but it just did not resonate that this was Tyler. The way that this person did not fit my profile of Tyler. So we're going to X that out of there. Because I don't believe in it, so I'm not going to cover it. If we could get further verification, then we'll revisit it. It's not a big deal. Now, let's get back to this. So it's a Steam profile. All right, so now let's keep going. December 2024, Twigs changed his preferred display name on Steam from Lance to Luna. A search of Reddit for usernames connected to his Steam username history revealed the match user Lancelot3 with the display name Flux. Biographical details on the Reddit account line up with Twigs. The account was highly active on the R4Tran subreddit. Interesting. Let's keep going. In November 2024, Twigs posted about his anxiety with injecting cross-sex hormones. Replying to a thread on injection pain, he wrote, "Seriously, sometimes it's just muscle memory. Sometimes I got to get buzzed on something, so I'm not too anxious about it." Let's keep going. Around the same time, he responded to a now deleted post lamenting about the re-election win of Donald Trump and what it means for transgender people. Trump winning has motivated me to finally fix my life. The 4chan post read, "I won't let the idiot sig fags who want me to be miserable win. I'll be independent, fit, happy, and trans, and they can't stop me." So here's the posts and all that stuff up there. Twigs responded, "Honestly, same. I realized after a bit of dooming that even if I was overall hiding from the local public now, my social life wouldn't really change, which is more depressing than any election, LOL. So working on that as my New Year's resolution." There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of, depression, anxiety. And, listen, this is stuff that happens when people are going through these type of life-changing events without a support structure, without their family and stuff like that. So I definitely have empathy. When I read that, I'm not taking it in as like, oh, look, this person's a bad person. I'm looking at people who are lost and who don't have support structures and are lonely. That sounds like the post of a person who is lonely. Very sad stuff, right? Listen, I have empathy. I know a lot of people don't have empathy out there, but I got empathy. I got empathy. How about that, strategic? Empathy. Yeah, that's what I got. So Twigs was raised in a devout Mormon family. but said he left the faith. On the r/ex-Christian subreddit, he claims he was expelled from his family home after refusing religious spiritual help. Big shout out to Dr. Cataclysm with 10 gift membership. Appreciate you, man. So this is Twigs here when he was younger. Apparently this is probably his family members. He graduated from high school. Let's keep going. He said he was told that he was possessed by a demon and then within 30 minutes kicked out of the house because I started laughing and wouldn't go to the bishop for a blessing. It's very sad. So apparently, according to Twigs, he was kicked out of the house at a very young age, at 18 years old. Twigs wrote, later found out they just didn't like me. Wow, think about that. He's talking about his family right now. Later just found out they just didn't like me and were looking for a way to get me out of the house. Wasn't even 18 at the time. Wow. Twigs added, if you have to deal with wacky evangelism, simply leave because you won't be able to help them and they will continue to hurt you. A neighbor of Twigs and Robinson told the Sun he believed Twigs was trans and that he saw them kissing about 2 weeks before the shooting. Let's watch this.
With him.
Were they holding hands?
Yeah, they were. So, yeah, they drove off in his car, the Dodge Challenger.
The time you saw them or this week?
It was about the time I saw them. So
how long ago was that?
I would say about 2 weeks ago.
And so they looked like they were a couple?
Yeah.
And he was dressed all in black?
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And you thought he was weird?
Yeah, I definitely, yeah.
What was weird about him?
Just the way he walked and just the way I've seen him. I've never seen really anybody dressed all in black with a mask on, and I thought that was just quite weird.
For those who've never seen the roommate, describe her.
All right, hold on here. Before we move forward, this is very interesting, very probative. I've never seen this interview anywhere else, by the way. This is all credit to Andy Ngo. We're on Andy Ngo's website, and that's where we're watching this video. I do have to say, we have over 1,000 people on this live right now, but we only have 354 likes. We're going to ask you to please show love to the channel. You don't have to agree with what we're saying. You don't have to agree with what we're reporting. But if you're here watching it, please show support to the fact that we have the courage to come online and speak to you about this information. We also want to get back into the algorithm so we can have our channel show to a wider audience, so we can get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're asking for your support, not for anything else, but for you to hit that like button and to engage in the chat. Lastly, Job49 gave us 5 gift memberships. While you're here, you're getting gifts, by the way. People are being so generous. We have at least 50, over 25, 27 right now, free gift memberships that were given out by generous people. So it's not like you're just here having fun. You're here and you're getting gifts. And isn't gifts cool? I love gifts. So anyway, big shout out to Job for you with 5 gift memberships. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Let's get back to this interview.
He did have freckles on his face. For the haircut, it was a weird haircut. It was kind of a mushroom shaped one. Yeah, I would say he didn't come out much, but definitely a few other, just a little bit at a time.
There's some published reports out there that this individual, the roommate, may have been transitioning. Did that correlate with what you saw?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so he was going to have an operation to be to turn into a woman.
Yeah, and I think he's getting ready for that.
Sorry, in what way do you think that?
I remember them talking about a doctor's appointment. It was about 2 weeks ago, I would say.
This is a next door neighbor, guys. This is a next door neighbor to Tyler and his girlfriend. Twigs. The name escaped me for a second. And we all know how nosy them neighbors are. We know how nosy they are. All right. I grew up in the projects and my neighbors knew every girlfriend I had and every position. I'm sorry. Anyway, we doing too much. Those neighbors know everything. All right. So this is the neighbor. All right. Let's keep going.
They were kissing?
Yeah.
Do you know where did you see them kissing?
Just coming out. I was riding with my bike, so I didn't see the whole thing, but yeah. I saw them.
And when did you hear them talking about a doctor's appointment?
I would say about the same time that they came out. So that one time, yeah.
And where were you standing for that?
I was just riding by here.
Okay.
So,
and you were able to hear snippets of their conversation?
yeah. Yep.
But you were sure that they were a couple, but you have only seen them together once?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, random guys don't hold hands and definitely don't kiss. So, I would have tried to stop him if I knew it was him, like before.
He said random guys don't hold hands and definitely don't kiss. So this guy is saying, this young man, he's obviously a teenager, is saying that he observed them holding hands and kissing. Somebody, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. At least my beliefs are let people live and be who they are and love people's humanity. So I hope inside of the chat, you guys will be respectful as well, because this is a safe place for all people. I just want to throw that out there to the ether, and I'll leave it up to you guys to be responsible and mature. Big shout out to Michael, the Dober dad. 25 months as a patrol member, says sending love from Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for supporting me for so long. For such a long time. And I got demonetized for a while, maybe like 2 years ago. So these folks, where you see them having 25 months of being members, they would have actually been longer if I didn't get demonetized. Like these are people who've been with me for like 4 or 5 years, and I appreciate that, and I never forget that. And it doesn't matter how big this channel get, you, Dr. Cataclysm, and other folks like that will always, David, you guys will always, Erica, will always have a place, special place in my heart, because you guys have been with me since day one. Let's keep going.
I definitely do not like the fact that he was living close to me. It was covered with police tape, a ton of police cars. We had a guy sitting up on the hill with a sniper, and SWAT trucks. And definitely a few helicopters and a drone as well.
What was going through your mind when you stepped in?
I was like, what is going on? And I asked the police officer, I'm like, did a killing happen here? They're like, I can't tell you. And so I called my grandma, found out that the guy that shot
this kid needs to be a detective. He asked the questions. I asked the cop what happened. Cop said he couldn't tell me nothing. No big deal. I called my grandma, and my grandma told me everything. Like, this kid knows everything. He knows. He's got the tea. He is the neighborhood watch. Let's keep going.
Lived right close to me. So for Charlie Kirk, I knew him over the years. Like, I didn't know him personally, but I've watched his videos before, and so.
All right, that's interesting. Let's keep going. Twigs was mentioned in the Utah criminal complaint against Robinson as an unnamed roommate who cooperated with investigators after being contacted. This goes back to what I've been saying, the theme of my theory. The theme of my theory, asking the question, did Twigs have something to do in the radicalization of Robinson? They were in an intimate relationship. People who are in relationships share things, talk about things, reason through things together. And what did they just say, or rather did Andy Ngo just say in this sentence? He says, Robinson as an unnamed roommate who cooperated with investigators after being contacted, post-incident, after being contacted, that's when he cooperated. Does it make sense to you people?
Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me that he did not volunteer his cooperation.
Does that make sense?
He cooperated after.
Does that make sense?
He was cooperating. I'm doing too much. Contacted. Okay, let's keep going. Robinson allegedly sent his trans partner messages related to the shooting. Surveillance video of the suspected gunman near the campus shows him appearing to communicate with someone on his phone. Now, we don't know who he was communicating with. We don't know, but whatever. Twigs has not been accused of any crime. He's on his phone. You don't know if he's looking something up. I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say he's communicating with somebody on the phone, unless, of course, Law enforcement has the timestamp of the video surveillance footage where he's manipulated his phone, and then they were able to cross-section that with his phone records. Then you could say that he's communicating if you have proof with his phone records that at the same time that you see him on video manipulating the phone, you also have corresponding data communication with the phone and the cell tower, and et cetera, right? Okay. But if you don't have that information, it's a stretch to say that he's communicating with someone, because our phones aren't just used for communicating with people. Our phones are used for everything else, checking your emails, surfing the web, directions, whatever. It is what it is. Let's keep going. According to Axios, investigators are probing whether Robinson was motivated by Kirk's outspoken criticism of transgenderism. Kirk was in the middle of answering a question about trans shooters when he was shot in the neck on September 10th. Now, one thing I want to know is, was this live streamed? Because if it was live streamed, then I believe, was it on a loudspeaker? Like, how would he know on that roof what Charlie Kirk was saying at the moment that he shot him? I don't know. Maybe there was loudspeakers on the campus and that he would be able to hear the conversation way back where he was at, 200 yards away. Because certainly you couldn't hear Charlie speaking to this guy at the level that they were talking. They're at conversation level, but they did have mics. So I don't know if that was just for live streaming, and if the shooter was live streaming it at the same time that he was there, or if it was a loudspeaker and he actually could hear the conversation, and then that's when he chose to pull the trigger. I'm not sure. Heidi says she thinks they were live streaming it on Instagram. Give me a second, guys. My nose is stuffy. I have to evacuate my nose. So give me a second. I'm sorry. This is live. It's live. It's unscripted. I need a second. I'm going to go off the camera for 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so people are saying that it was live streamed, so that makes a lot of sense as to why he might have been able to know what the conversation was when he decided to pull the trigger. All right, let's keep going. Meanwhile, many large left-wing social media accounts continue to circulate false claims that Robinson was a far-right Christian nationalist, while dismissing reporting that his partner and or roommate is trans. The rifle cartridge used in assassin had Antifa propaganda messaging on some of them. Utah Governor Spencer Cox told the Wall Street Journal in a report published on Saturday, "It's very clear to us and to the investigators that this was a person who was deeply indoctrinated in leftist ideology." Now listen, we gotta be honest with ourselves. That's the end of the article. This guy was certainly not a right winger. Now, what pains me is that people are using that as ammunition to attack each other on both sides of the political spectrum. And I just think that that's just unnecessary. But facts are facts. This guy was not some right winger. Okay. It is what it is. Okay. We don't even know what his politics really was. According to his voter registration, he was unaffiliated. He was not registered as a Democrat or a Republican. He could simply just had two specific things that he didn't like that Charlie Kirk was saying. It doesn't have to be that he embodied all of the ideology of the Democratic Party or all of the ideology of the Republican Party. He literally could have committed this crime because he did not like one or two things that Charlie Kirk said. So I think for the right or the left to try and figure out what type of extremist he was, I don't know how probative that is, except for us to just know that he was an extremist. Even if it was just one issue, he was an extremist on that issue to the point where he was willing to attempt, or rather carry out, there was no attempt involved, an assassination. Big shout out to whoever gave us coffee. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to, let's see what the rest of this is on his TikTok. Is it muted? I'm not sure. Yeah, it is. Okay.
This righteous Italian sandwich. You got this righteous Italian sandwich that really just doesn't look very Italian to me. Easy solution is just pop it open, get your spaghetti, and there we go. You got this righteous Italian.
What is this frog thing? Nah, the music, man, the music. We can't do the music, so we'll mute the music. You know, I wish YouTube wasn't that punitive when it comes to playing short clips of music. Let's keep going, though. All right. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to play, what's this? Students question. Nope. Go over here. Video fact check. Okay, so the research crew just got back to me, and they have confirmed after fact checking, double, triple fact checking, that the microphone bro, I don't know if anybody's calling that. I heard somebody calling it. I'm going to call him microphone bro. The guy who said, here's a real debater and all that. That is not Tyler Robinson. It is absolutely not Tyler Robinson. Okay. So we have confirmed that. Okay. I want to go ahead and I want to read one more article for you, but I want to get a video so I could grab something to drink. Usually I have something to drink when I'm here, but we ran into this live. We wanted to give you guys this breaking news and really report it to you. So I am thirsty. I'm parched. It's not easy to talk for an hour nonstop and read and all that stuff that we're doing. It's not easy at all. So definitely need to lubricate these pipes. So this is the Charlie Kirk Memorial. I'm just gonna play for you real quick while I run and get something to drink. I was wearing your clothes for a long time. All right, perfect. Okay. All right. All right. All right, let's get to our last article for the day, and then let's call it a day. I appreciate you guys for being so patient with me. You guys are amazing. This is kind of like a timeline of how it all went down. And I think it's a perfect and fitting way for us to end this show. You guys have hanged out with me for quite a while. Tomorrow is Sunday, so we can all sleep in just a little bit. My son has soccer in the morning, though, so I'm going to have to get up a little bit early. All right. All right. Shooting took place right after Charlie Kirk spoke about transgender violence. If Robinson's connection to a transgender partner is confirmed, it could deepen the political and cultural debate around the case. I don't really know why. I feel like for us to deepen the cultural divide simply because Robinson's partner is trans would be for us kind of saying that all trans agree with the actions of Robinson, and I don't see that. I really don't see that. I don't see what Robinson did as an example of what a lot of people believe in. Like to me, Robinson's actions are not representative of the vast majority of Americans on the left or the right. I think that clearly there were some people on the internet who were insensitive and who made disparaging remarks, and many of them are suffering the consequences of that. I do not believe in cancel culture, so I'm not one of those people who are happy about people losing their jobs and positions. I did find some of these comments to be very distasteful, like the comment made by the Florida politician who said that Charlie Kirk was a suitable sacrifice to the gods, Smith and Wesson. I think that was just horrible for him to make that comment. But I'm not a cancel culture guy. I just don't believe in it. But nonetheless, that's a small minority of people. The vast majority of people, especially we see it in the chat here, because our chat is just a hodgepodge of all thoughts and all backgrounds and all ideologies. We have conservatives, liberals. We have all types of people inside of our chat. And all we have is pretty much everybody saying, hey, regardless of what you think about Charlie Kirk, this was not good. I think that's a representative of America at large. So I don't know if it matters that the roommate was trans and was the lover of Robinson, or that Robinson was gay. It doesn't really matter. You know, it is what it is. What it does matter to us is that Robinson is a madman, and he tried to silence speech, which is something we frown upon in America, and therefore he's going to go to the Supermax in Florence. That's what matters, right? So let's keep going. The roommate connection. Lance Twigs, 22, reported lived with Tyler Robinson in St. George, Utah after Robinson's arrest in the Charlie Kirk shooting case. Twigs' name surfaced as a roommate who may have provided key information to law enforcement. And also what matters to me is if. I just want to throw that out there too, and I want to lose my original point. I'm giving you different options. It also matters to me if Twigs radicalized Robinson, because still not indicative of an entire community. It just means that we need to charge 2 people instead of 1. Because it doesn't matter what anybody's feelings are. We read the article. We read it from multiple sources. We've been reading it all day. This is the second live for today. In each source that we read out, law enforcement clearly said that Twigs cooperated after they were contacted by law enforcement. Twigs did not come forward with the information that Twigs knew they had with details of the shooting of Charlie Kirk. Whether Twigs had that information before the shooting or after the shooting, Twigs had that information before law enforcement had that information, and Twigs made a conscious decision not to report the information they had to law enforcement. I am not going to give Twigs a pass for that. I am not going to give Twigs a pass for that because it's wrong. It's wrong. So let's keep going. Reports of a transgender partner. New York Post reported that Robinson was living with a transgender partner transitioning from male to female. This person was said to be fully cooperating with investigators. While speculation points to Twigs, authorities have not confirmed this identity. Fox News reporter Brooke Singman said that FBI obtained text and communication between Robinson and the roommate, which helped establish Robinson as the shooter. Twigs' cooperation is believed to have been critical in solidifying the case. Newsmax anchor Rob Schmidt stated that former President Donald Trump told him Robinson had a trans girlfriend. What? Stated that former president, you mean current president. That threw me for a loop. Current President Donald Trump told him Robinson had a trans girlfriend. This claim fueled further speculation online, though it remains unverified officially. Next, family silence on gender identity. When asked by Daily Mail, Twigs' grandfather said he didn't want to comment on whether Lance was transgendered. Another family member described Twigs as the black sheep of the family, but refused to address rumors of a romantic relationship with Robinson. Daily Mail versus New York Post reports. The Daily Mail reported Twigs was a roommate who tipped off police, but clarified it was still unclear if he was the transgender partner mentioned by the New York Post. The lack of clarity has left the identity question unresolved. Why it matters in the case. The shooting took place right after Charlie Kirk spoke about the transgender violence If Robinson's connection to a transgender partner is confirmed, it could deepen the political and cultural debate about the case. For now, Twigs remains central, both as Robinson's roommate and as the individual whose evidence allegedly led to his arrest. All right. That was a long show. Well, it pretty much was the average show. Short. It's an hour. We usually do an hour and a half. Woo! Guys, I really appreciate you guys for joining me. This impromptu live. I literally went live 5 minutes after sending out the notification. You guys are amazing. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. You also hit the like and you put something in the comment section. Whatever you may put, we don't care. We appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up. Say where you calling from. Where in the world you calling from? What state are you calling from? Rep your state. Rep your city. Rep your town. We need that so we can get into the algorithm. There's well over 1,000 people watching the stream right now, yet we only have half of them with likes. Only 583 likes. We need those likes so that we can get into that algorithm. We do appreciate you guys. Once again, we want to get to 100,000 subscribers. Big shout out to everybody who gave us a super chat today. Big shout out to all of the subscribers who showed up and gave gift memberships. So all those 27 people who received gift memberships or signed up for a membership, we want to thank you. We want to welcome to the family. We hope that you will enjoy your stay here with True Crime and Strategic. Other than that, guys, I love you guys immensely. Stay beautiful. Love your family. Love each other. And remember, everything we said today was alleged, and there's two sides to every story. There's the family members that want to talk about Twigs, and there's Twigs' side as well. And I have a lot of empathy for Twigs because I believe that Twigs came out to their family as trans or as gay, and their family probably were not very nice to them. And that is a very sad state of affairs when family members turn their back on their loved ones simply because of their sexuality. But we're going to figure out what's going on eventually as more evidence comes out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.